time we can have an agreement on further sanctioning Iran.
It was Friday when Secretary General Stoltenberg said that in the next couple of days European allies would announce what further military aid they could deliver to Ukraine. Now it's Monday, we haven't heard anything. Is it what you expected? Are you disappointed by this radio silence?
Well, I think that, as I mentioned at the beginning, I think that now many allies will be relieved that there are good news coming from the United States. But it cannot stop us from doing what we have to do. Therefore, we will be announcing additional measures when it comes to the strengthening of air defense. Lithuania has some specific equipment that could be used in Ukraine, so it will be later announced today. I'm hopeful. But it's just a tiny example that everybody else has to continue moving ahead. And such initiatives as Czech initiative or with ammunition or German initiative currently underway with additional air defense, they have to be supported. Germany made a very significant step, sending additional Patriot battery to Ukraine. When you think of it, it's just one. We have to do better.
Are you concerned the Iranian Revolution Guardian?
Sorry?
The sanctions on the Iranian Revolution Guardian.
Well, we're talking not just sanctions, we're talking of assigning Iranian Revolutionary Guard as a terrorist organization, and we support that.
Are you concerned that the European Union is now sitting back after the US is now providing more billions?
Well, we'll witness that today, whether we're sitting back or we're moving ahead.
And what do you expect?
I always expect us moving ahead, but time will tell.
Would you...
Airplanes, now we're talking just mostly about spare parts for drones that are still not under sanction and ballistic missiles. I would be in favor of restricting the military industry of a country that is fighting on two fronts. And I have a question, which is at this point is rhetorical. How many fronts does Iran need to open for us to get serious about sanctioning them? I hope that two is, we reach at the limit where we actually can impose serious sanctions that would actually restrict their military industry from fighting in Ukraine and from fighting against Israel.
Should the JCPOA be a concern for the European Union when it takes such measures?
Well, look, I'm one of those people who don't believe that JCPOA has a future.
Do you think the External Action Service believes that too?
Well, you better ask them.
On missiles, Iraq will need to prove that there was an actual transfer to Russia for use of Ukraine.
Of missiles?
Yeah, Iranian missiles.
Well, they were used against Israel.
So you would be sanctioning Iran for using missiles against Israel?
We would be sanctioning limiting the transfer of components that are used in building the missiles. Okay, thank you.
Good morning. I'm the new Latvian Foreign Minister, Baiba Braža. This is my first Foreign Affairs Council, and we have an important day ahead of us. So we have indeed the first discussion with Ukrainian Foreign Affairs and Defense Ministers. So then followed by the decisions that the EU will take, both to ensure that we supply Ukraine what it needs. It's about our own security. So we, as Europeans, have to step up. We can't relax, even though US has passed the aid package. We have to contain Russia. So there are several elements in that. One is money, that Russia doesn't get the incomes that it needs in the budget to continue financing war. It's parts for the missiles, parts for the equipment, parts for the machinery. But it's also the ability to contain Russia cognitively, to have that unity in Europe, in the world, around the globe, to make sure that Ukraine that is fighting for the UN charters, that is fighting for all of us, for the principles we stand for as individuals, as countries, are actually implemented. So that is how we see the first part of the discussion. And you know that Latvia has signed the bilateral security treaty with Ukraine. We will provide all the possible aids that we have, including 0.25% of GDP for the military aid. And we provide millions as people, as individuals. We will continue doing that. Second part, of course, the Middle East. We'll have a discussion. We will have a very clear support on our side on further sanctioning Iran's regime for what it has done in the attack, both for the missiles, for the drones, but also further support, humanitarian support to Gaza, further support to Palestinian people, solidarity with Israel. That's as far as Latvia is concerned. And I also look forward, of course, seeing the good colleagues from the Gulf Cooperation Council at the end of the day, and that will be a pleasure for me to meet them in a different capacity. Thank you so much.
Minister, are you concerned that now that the US House has passed the package for Ukraine, that some European countries that were considering sending additional aid might not do so? They may step back and say, well, now the US is stepping up, we can keep our patriots, we can keep our defense.
Our reading is the opposite, that we have to step up. That it's a crucial time. We all know how difficult the situation is on the ground. If Europe has the ambition to manage conflicts on its continent, this is the time to show that.
What do you expect from the next sanctions package against Russia? What would be in it from your side?
As I said, there are several elements in it. We are clearly seeing in the statistics, in the data, that those sanctioned packages already are being avoided through Belarus and other countries, so we need to adjust the regime of sanctions both to Russia and Belarus very clearly. And we as external border country, of course, seeing very practical things. We have to stop the derogations. That was a temporary measure, so that has to be totally eliminated. It's used to avoid sanctions. As I said, the frozen finance means of Russia has to be used for Ukraine. There is a whole package. As I said, one is money, second is the various elements that Russia uses for its production of material, of missiles and so on and so forth. And the third is the longer-term political sort of unity around the globe and very clear understanding that we will not get rid of Russia problem so soon. Thank you so much.
What about the sanctions on the Revolution Guard?
We are ready to consider. We will see the discussion inside. But on Latvian side, we are okay on that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Ça va durer longtemps? Une minute, 2 minutes? Et chaque fois que tu appuies sur cette image, ça se reprend depuis le début ou non? Mais chaque fois que tu choisis cette image, ça commence depuis le début. Non, c'est pas ça. Pas comme ça, non. Ah, voilà.